Hi friends, my name's Naomi. Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to share my Buzzword reading challenge TBR. So if you don't know, Kayla from Booksandlala, which you should, she's like the biggest booktuber on the platform. She used to run the Buzzwordathon, which is basically, it was a readathon where basically she would pick like a theme or a word, and basically you picked out your TBR with that word or theme. She doesn't do them anymore, but now she does the Buzzword reading challenge, which is basically a year-long challenge, and now for every month she picked a word or theme, and you pick a book to read each month for that word or theme. So she just announced the words and themes for each month for the next year. I tried to pick out all books that I own or all books that are already on my TBR because I did not want to add any more books to my TBR, and the whole purpose pretty much of this is that all of these words are like buzzwords and they're usually in titles a lot, so it's basically supposed to decrease your TBR instead of increase it. So I tried my best, and I have a book for everything. There was one that I had to add a book to my TBR, and one that was really hard, and I might be stretching it, but I'm gonna go through all the months, and you can watch Kayla's video. I'll leave it linked down below, and I hope that y'all join this because it's a lot of fun. So I am a mood reader, so for some of these I have a couple of options if I had the opportunity to do so, but some of these I only have like one book, and like I said, I had to add a book to my TBR because there were no books with a certain word. But the first one for the month of January is Life and Death. So for that one, I chose Dead in Gondola, which is a cozy mystery, and I think it'll be perfect because it's wintry time and it'll be in January. I don't know much about this cozy mystery, to be honest, but I'm excited to read it. And honestly, I don't have some of the books physically, so I won't be able to tell you like synopsis for all of these books, but I'll try my best. And then also for the Life and Death prompt, I do own A Little Life, but I know that I'm not going to read it. I think at this point I should just unhaul that book because I don't think I'm ever going to read it, but I kind of want to. I go like on these waves that I really want to read it, and sometimes I know that I'm never going to. It's weird, I don't know, but I do have A Little Life. I will not be picking it up in January, so it doesn't count for that one. For the month of February, we have Verbs. So for that, I had a couple of options. I have 3 options, and these are like the top 3 books that I would want to read sometime soon. So the first one is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. Lucy Foley wrote The Guest List, which I loved, and it's kind of like a isolated setting whodunit type of story. I don't know much about the plot of The Hunting Party, but I am really excited to read it. And then I have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune, who wrote The House in the Cerulean Sea. I think this one has to do with like afterlife, and it's still pretty cute, so I'm excited to read it. And lastly, I have a mystery thriller which is called Local Woman Missing. Don't know who the author is, but it was on my TBR, so I added it on here. The next one was the one that I had a really hard time, and I had to add a book to my TBR because I honestly don't own or have in my TBR at all any books with this word, and the word is secret. And I was so surprised because I thought I would have at least one, but no. So I ended up adding, and I don't even know if I'll read this. I might just like completely skip this month, honestly, because I don't know. But I added The Secret of the Old Clock, which is a Nancy Drew book. It's like the only thing that looked interesting to me on Goodreads when I looked up the word secret. I did go on my TBR and like I did the control find, and I did secret, and I went over my whole TBR, and I have no books with the word secret on them. So I don't know, maybe y'all can help me find another word that I could use that is secret-ish. I don't know, because some of these words are like you can kind of stretch them, but I don't really know how to do that with the word secret, so I don't know. The buzzword for April is emotions, and for this one I have a couple options as well. So I actually have my first physical book, which is The End of Loneliness, so obviously the word lonely, and this one's by Benedict Wells. I saw this on Noel Gallagher's channel. I don't know much about it besides the fact that it's pretty emotional, so yeah, I have this one as an option. And then I also have The Madman's Daughter, which is like a retelling of The Island of Dr. Moreau, and this is a young adult novel that has been around for a while, and I was just always interested in reading this. So obviously the word mad, it's in the title, so I have this one too. And then I have Not a Happy Family. I believe this one's by Sherry Lapina. I don't know much about it, honestly. I think this is a mystery thriller, but I forgot. Then I also have A Curious Beginning. I think the author is something Spedwell, and I think this is like a Sherlock Holmes type of story. Next up, this was really hard, and this is the one that I feel like I'm stretching a little bit, and it is for the month of May, and that is Flavors, Seasonings, Herbs, and Spices. So I thought that, I mean, I do have a cozy mystery as the option, but I thought that I'd have a lot more options because cozy mysteries usually tend to have like some type of food in the title, but none of the books that I have on my radar that are on my TBR and Goodreads had that on the title, except for this one, but I'm honestly not too sure if this counts. And I have Death by Darjeeling by Laura Childs, and I thought this would work because Darjeeling, I looked it up and I guess it's a tea, and basically tea is just spices and herbs that are like steeped in hot water, so I figured this would work for that, but I don't know if I'm stretching it a bit too far. But this is the one that I have, and like I said, this is a cozy mystery, and it is the first one in the Tea Shop Mystery. And basically, like all cozy mysteries, someone is poisoned and they're looking at our main character, who's the owner of like this little catering tea business. And for June, the word is other, and for that I have Love and Other Words. I believe this is by Christina Lauren. This has been on my radar for a while. I don't know if I'll like this because I've only ever read one Christina Lauren and I did not really like it. And then I also have The Other Black Girl, which I don't know much about, but I did have it on my TBR and Goodreads, so I added these two. For the month of July, it is Weather, and for that I have another cozy mystery, which is A Dark and Stormy Murder. And then for the month of August, we have Body Parts, and for this I had Jar of Hearts, which I believe is a horror, and then also Near the Bone, which I think is also a horror, and I don't know much about them. I don't own either of them, as you can see, but yeah, horror, I guess. For the month of September, we have game-related words, and for that I have two options, and the first option is The Winner's Curse by Marie Rakowski. Obviously the word winner. This is another like dystopian young adult that has been around for a really long time, and I've had this for a really long time on my TBR. And then I have Amari and the Great Game, which is the sequel to Amari and the Night Brothers. And then for the month of October, we have the word magic, and for that one I have two options. So I have Practical Magic, which I really wanted to read this October, but I didn't own it and I didn't want to buy any books. I think I was at a book buying ban at that time, so couldn't buy it. And then I also have A Magic Steeped in Poison. Last 2 months, so for November we have the word good, which I thought would be so simple, and I literally only have one option for this, and that is Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is this is the sequel for it, and I read the first book probably like 3 to 4 years ago now, so I don't remember much about it, so I might have to do a reread and then read this one. But yeah, this is my option, and this is like a mystery thriller YA of this young girl that solves a murder. And then for the month of December, we have sound related words. So for this I have three options. First I have The Whistling. I don't remember where I heard about this book from. It was just on my TBR, and I feel like I never even seen it before, but it was there. And then I also have Under the Whispering Door, which I already mentioned previously, which was for the verbs. So if I don't read it for that, I could read it for this. And then lastly, I have A Silent Voice, which is a manga collection. Alrighty, so that is pretty much my whole TBR for the Buzzword Reading Challenge for 2023. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you were struggling with any of the prompts, and I hope you got an idea out of this video, let me know if you're joining in the reading challenge next year. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!